The Retro Buzz starts right after this.
Hey guys, it's not Friday, but it is a special day. Today is a special episode of the Retro Buzz, episode number 23. We're just like cruising along. I said to the guys earlier, we are going to have to do an episode every day of the week and do that. I'm sure you guys would like that. I know this guy would. We could even call tomorrow's episode the Kathleen Kennedy Revenge of the Fifth. You would like that.
Take her out.
And there you see Glenn with his out of control Legends Ultimate cabinet.
Beautiful, beautiful Legends cabinet. Thanks to Al.
We'll get to that in a little bit. We've also got Mr. Douglas Smith, Mr. Cool Toy himself, who also did a video today. If you didn't check it out and you really want to scare yourself, no, I'm teasing. I was a little intimidated, I got to admit, but he did a video on hooking up. Well, let's back up a little bit. You actually had to consolidate like the rest of us, right?
Yeah, I had to retire one of my arcade cabinet projects that I had already made.
No!
Basically, condense it into one so I can make my ultimate version of my Star Wars cabinet. So, best of both worlds. Got a footprint for a new cabinet. So, everything's good. Everything worked out in the end.
That was the perfect segue for Darth Vader's painful
no! Yep. It'll be all right. It'll live on.
Well, so that was something you did. So you managed to take the yoke, hook it up to your PC, which you paid $70 for it. Did a little rewiring, added some other buttons so you could play Outrun and some of the other games that are driving. But I thought it was really good. You went through very thoroughly. So if you guys want to see how to do that, if you've got a Star Wars cabinet,
excellent video.
It was very good. So make sure you guys go check that out. But we do have a special guest. That's one of the reasons why we decided to do it this way. And what better way to do it? Now, he didn't put any Star Wars on the marquee, but we do have Mr. Al Link from Pixelcade.org. Welcome, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here on this Star Wars Day as we're all celebrating.
That's right, a special day. The day of all days, man. You got Star Wars Day.
Nailed it.
So for those that don't know, Al, why don't you tell a little bit about what you do and kind of how you got into creating pixel marquees for the Legends and the Arcade 1-Ups.
Sure, yeah. So it actually started out as a pixel art project. So the first project is right here above me. That was a Kickstarter I did about 5 years ago. And it was all about retro pixel art and giving it this new platform to show pixel art on LEDs. And so I did that for a couple of years. And then I ended up doing actually an LED handbag for women. I have a wife that spends a lot of money on handbags. And I was getting really tired of buying her all these bags. I thought if I could invent a handbag that she could change from her phone, that she would buy less handbags. Unfortunately, I didn't. So I pivoted on from that project, and I like, like you guys, I like arcades. I grew up in the '80s, and I played all the games, and so I thought it'd be cool. Didn't really see any good marquees out there that would change dynamically, so I basically took the same tech from that project and put it in these marquees. Just did it for myself, posted it on a couple sites, and some people liked it, so I turned it into a product.
So what really happened was when you posted it, the wrong guy saw it. This guy right here, sitting next to me.
He's exactly.
This guy here that's like hiding over here. He saw it, did an interview with you, wanted to get it out there, and here you are getting the attention that it is well deserved for this product. Very easy to
Absolutely.
install. Because we were talking with Doug, what was it, yesterday, Doug? We said you need to get one, and you're like, well, I kind of had the other one, and of course, Glenn showed
like
you
you
how
can-
you could do it
Yeah, you can have them both.
like that. So,
As he stares majestically.
well, yeah, I mean that's just Glenn. Glenn has to give you that, duh, right, Glenn? Just staring at that marquee.
I'm telling you, I was just saying it before that it just looks so nice. I've come down here many a nights, just sitting in my chair over there, just looking at it. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. Just see it scroll through the different games, and then sometimes I'll see a game I didn't play before and go, "Oh, let me take a look at that game," and I'll fire it up and I'll play the game. But it's just really nice because if you look at it, it's taking up the whole area. If you look at the original at game sign, only this much of it lights up. The rest of it's not being lit up at all. Here, look at this. The whole thing is illuminated. And right now I'm using static pictures, but you can put animations on here. You can even design your own.
Now you don't have one.
or-
You don't have one for your arcade 1-ups, right? You just have it for the Legends, correct?
Not yet. I really want it for the Legends just because I think that in this particular case for what I wanted to do, it just looks fantastic. The arcade 1-ups, I'm kind of sticking just with the marquees because there are like 3 or 4 games on it. Whereas in the Legends, you can have not only the 300 built in, but so many more. And it's just nice to stand up and walk up to one of these machines. It's already, stand up height, and you have the marquee right there for the game. But what's even more cool about it is I haven't set it up yet, and a lot of other people have already modified their Legends Ultimate by putting little flipper buttons on the side and playing virtual pinball. And again, Al's marquee can support those DMD screens.
Yep.
For those pinball machines.
We're gonna get to that a little bit. Al, I don't know if you saw it, but there's a guy on Facebook that's going around and saying, "Would you look at that? Would you look at that? How could you not just look at that?" That's actually Glenn. Glenn does that video, and so he tells everybody that they need to look at that.
Yeah.
Well, he did a great job. The guy did a great job.
No, go ahead, Al.
No, I was just saying, Glenn. It's all his fault.
That's all what we've been saying.
Like I said, I had not planned to turn it into a product. I just did it for myself. So it's all Glenn's fault, but it's been a labor of love, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
So there's some people in the chat room. We do want to let you guys know. They're like, I want that marquee. We have joined the P-Dubs Club. Al was gracious enough to give us a discount code that you guys can use if you want to pick this up, and it's using our abbreviations, the Retro Buzz, TRB, the number 10, and you can get 10% off. And Al, I believe that was for both the installed or assembled and unassembled, correct?
Just the assembled one.
Oh, the assembled.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
So, which is actually better because you guys can get it assembled. It's easy. You just put it together on your Legends. I did a video earlier today that you can go watch. Very simple. Minus me, I think the longest was unscrewing everything, and that's why I did it in fast forward, because honestly, that took me the longest time in dropping screws, and you guys didn't see that, but that
very
was
easy to put in. It's very easy to put in. Al's got a great instructional video. I know Steven did a video. I did a video as well, step by step. It is extremely easy to do. It's cut perfectly. When it fits in here, I mean, it's a perfect fit. The screw holes are a perfect fit. It really doesn't take long to put in. And the way it looks is just amazing. It's totally worth it.
So we're going to try to sell Doug on this, if he's not sold right now on it. Al, I'm going to play that first video that you have here. If you want to kind of talk a little bit about it as we play that, and so that way people can kind of get a gist of what we're showing here, because I believe you have it on the arcade 1-up, correct?
Yes. Yeah, so that's on my arcade 1-up. That was the first install I did.
Oh, he's even got the little plushies there.
A couple other customers I have that are using it. That's arcade cabinet reseller, actually.
So you're putting these on mini arcades too, or countercades as well.
Not just Legends and 1-up. There's a bar top. There's a lot of custom cabinet guys out there, so they've been going for it. think that one's an arcade one-up. That's the pinball right there. Yeah, I have to say the pinball integration is really nice. I really enjoy that one myself. The pinball community has done a nice job in colorizing the artwork, because the original pinball machines, as you guys know, were single color. So they've actually colorized them, so that's really cool. A lot of time I spent on the artwork, so Glenn, I really appreciate you admiring that artwork, because that was hours. Unfortunately, you can't just resize an image and have it look good. You really need to clean it up. You got to adjust the contrast. Certain images don't look good on the ODs, so I spent a lot of time doing that. So,
and it's also something you appreciate. People do submit to you if they do the artwork. You can add it, correct?
Yep. I think, as Doug said at the beginning, it's very much in art. I very much see it as an art project, in addition to an arcade project.
Well, I was liking that with the pinball DMD. That's something I want to hook up, because you and I got to talking about that with the Toy Shock, right? That was something that we had talked about as in a Facebook chat. I thought it would be kind of cool maybe to take that backboard of that Toy Shock and set it on top of one of your marquees and get that somehow integrated with it to get the scores through your Pixelcade. I don't know about you guys out there that are watching this, if you have a Toy Shock, what do you think? Is that something that Al should put some time into to get it working? I mean, it looked phenomenal on the arcade one-ups with the pinball. I believe you did the pinball with the arcade one-up, right? That wasn't a custom.
Yeah, that one's
that machine there. Yeah, the Mortal Kombat machine.
Yeah, but there's been some guys that have installed it in real pinball cabinets as well.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Doug?
Well, he supports coin ops, he supports Raspberry Pi, he supports the DMD for virtual pinball machines. We need to get at games to finish and get on board so we can support it directly in the Legends Ultimate. That's the next one. Come on, PK, let's get this thing going.
Well, and Glenn, why don't you show a little bit, because you can control it not just with the PC. That's how I'm controlling it right now. But Glenn has, because Glenn's one that doesn't have an iPhone. So there is something good you can do. Wait, there is something you can do with it. That you can do with an Android. So he's going to show you here.
There it is, right there. So you install the application in here, and basically you can go and just pick what you want. Here's an animation one, but you can pick this one that I think is a DMD. There we go. That's for a pinball machine. I think that's actually from. Oh, it is from Indiana Jones. Thank you. Yes. This is a really nice artwork. Look at this. Just touch it, and it appears. This is going over Bluetooth. So when you order it, you have to basically specify, do you want to use it over Bluetooth? There's a little dongle he could supply with that order. Or if you could use it over basically USB A to A cable to connect to another computer or a Raspberry Pi. But you can just go and pick and select. And I could do this all day. I could just sit here and just literally just look at these things. I love the Missile Command one. Looks great. The yellow and the red, and it kind of fades out. It just looks really, really nice. Xevious, another one I like to look at. It's just beautiful.
Well, and let's touch on this real quick. Those are two panels there that you don't even see the split on. I think that's something to bring everybody's attention to, right, Al?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'll show you. In fact, I'll show you guys. That's basically two of these guys. Yeah.
And what's more amazing about those, and Al, correct me if I'm wrong, those are designed for like outside, those big, billboards. So these things are designed to be rained on, vibration, sun. They're built to last.
Yeah, these are actually indoor ones. They make outdoor ones as well. But yeah, these you'll find on large scale indoor signage displays, and they're meant to be on, all the time.
I thought about that, leaving mine on all the time, but I didn't want to burn it out or anything like that. So now you got me thinking I'm just going to unplug it from my smart switch and just leave it run all the time.
Look at it all night.
My electric company will love me as if they don't love me already.
Hey, you're keeping them in business.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
They're pretty power efficient, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have LEDs, other LEDs that I run all the time. Well, one of the things too with this that I thought was really awesome is there's a tool out there that not really a tool, but if you animate animated GIFs, There's some different websites that you can go to make the animated GIF, but you have a way that now that you can just drop it in your web portal, if you will, and add your image if you want to take the time. And like I did with mine, I still got to work on it because, like you said, it's hard to get the image to where it's readable, not just throw it in there, right?
Yep.
But one of the things I was talking to Al, I said it'd be really cool. I don't know if Glenn, you showed the Space Invaders one, but those new animations and not just the marquees.
Static logos. Yeah.
I'd love for it to be able to flash through them. Al, we talked about that, going through just the animations and not just, I mean, it just looks really cool with the Bad Dudes guys that come up. And I don't know if you have that there, but there he goes.
Yeah, he's got animated there.
That one over the weekend, so I'm still debugging it. But if you have a Raspberry Pi to add on to it, so for example, like a Pi Zero, little board like this, or Raspberry Pi, then what I told it to do is just basically play a new animation, I think, every 15 seconds. So that integration is possible, and then you just let it run.
I think that's something that is people could admire to have it work. What do you think?
Got a question in the YouTube chat from Mike Libidinsky. It says, so if I use this with coin ops on my legends, it will match the game when I'm playing. When I close coin ops, does it auto change through random games, or can you have it just display a legends logo?
So if you're running coin ops through a PC, the integration will work fine.
Okay.
I think I saw some thread on coin ops off a USB drive that we don't
Which
support.
is frowned upon. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, so that we don't support at the moment. But yeah, if you're running coin ops through a PC, it will basically work just like this. So as you change the game, it'll match. And then once you exit coin ops, then it'll default to whatever last animation was written onto the local SD card. So which is the same what Glenn has right now, for example. That's the default one.
Very handy.
I have to laugh. Somebody in the chat room on Facebook, they're like, the dude just pulled a computer out of his pants. What does this guy not have?
It's a $10 computer. $10.
Well, now you know that's where he gets all his computers. That's where he hides them. There you go. I think that's really cool. I have to hook up, and I'll probably do a video on that at some point with the coin ops. What about with like Odroid or anything like? I know, Doug, you're a big fan of the Odroid system. Al, how's the integration with that, or is there integration or soon to be integration?
Doug, is that working with RetroPie?
Yeah, there's RetroPie images out there, so I would assume it would, work similar with the Raspberry Pi as long as it's using a RetroPie image.
Yeah. So as long as it's got an emulation station front end, and I'd probably have to recompile my mod for that, but it should work. Yeah, that's basically what I had to do to get the Pi 4 to work. I had to recompile.
Sold. That's all I need here.
What about
Easy sell.
What about like Launchbox or anything like that? Is that something also? I mean, is that something you have to compile, or that should work too?
Yeah, the thing about the PC is there's another software called LED Blinky.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The guy there, I know you guys have seen it, it's pretty cool. Basically, you have RGB LED buttons. You can control those to match the game. And so he's already done all that low-level integration with Launchbox, GameX, Hyperspin, which is what I have here, a bunch of other arcade front ends. So I was able to work with him and integrate Pixelcade with LED Blinky. So whatever he supports, basically I support. With the exception of coin ops. Coin ops he didn't support, so we had to do that integration directly.
The man after Glenn's heart. But does it support Pong? Somebody wants to know, right? Glenn, I think.
Well, there is a Pong animation. Let me go find.
I know, that's why.
Surely there is, right?
Well, I seen
it.
I seen the Pong. I'm surprised Glenn didn't have it put up there. There you go.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
And look, it even runs just like Glenn.
Yep, nice and slow.
Which is perfect. You could sit there and admire it. Look at that. Look at Glenn sitting there. He's in.
Bloop. Bloop. Bloop.
We could stream for 6 more hours and Glenn still be staring at that.
He'll be standing there.
Mhm.
So what I think is really, really cool, and Al, it's really something you put together a video about it, which I'll show here in a little bit. But the pinball, what made you decide to go one step further and do the pinball on the marquee? Was it just not functional enough for you? I mean, as just a marquee?
You know, it's funny. I'm gonna plead ignorance. It's a little embarrassing. I didn't know that the whole virtual pinball scene existed. Right? I just found out about it by accident because I'm really into pixel art,
Mhm.
and it turns out there's a lot of nice artwork for pinball because the display of this 128 by 32 resolution is coincidentally the exact same display as those pinball DMDs. So I was just literally googling around and I found all this art. I was like, oh my god, what's this virtual pinball thing? Um, got in touch with a couple guys, and then eventually one of them connected me with this guy Freezy, who wrote the integration to basically it's a driver that drives these displays. And so he was working with some other pin DMDs. So I reached out to him, super nice guy, and I said, would you be willing to support Pixelcade? And lo and behold, he did it, cranked it out pretty fast,
Nice.
and that was it.
Nice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very
And
impressive.
Al's is much nicer because they're color. I mean, like I said before, the DMDs and the old pinball were just like red or orange. Now they're
Exactly.
converting all these ones in color, and they look great.
Yeah, and it's a lot of vibrant colors. It's not like, seven basic colors. It looks like it's got, a full color spectrum to go there.
Yep. No, it's pretty amazing what the community has done there for sure.
I think it just, for a multi-cade, I think it looks really sharp. I kind of agree with Glenn. I like the arcade one-ups
Hold the
with their
presses. Hold the presses. He agreed
I
with
know.
me.
Here we
He did.
go. I do. I like the arcade one-ups with that, but if I was in the situation where I could only have one, and let's say I modded my arcade one-up, then I'd put one on it because I'd also probably put pinball on it, like Al did in this video that I'm going to show you here. It's really cool integration if you look at this, to have all the scores. I mean, if you didn't, I mean, obviously you can see that it's an arcade stand-up, but it gives you the illusion that you're playing a actual tabletop. And those of you guys that are modding it, you can make yourself a box, throw the screen in it, put Al's marquee right on top. You got yourself a low-profile V-pin.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice if you don't have a lot of space. So I live here in California, and our houses are a little on the smaller size. So I'm negotiating with the wife to get a pinball machine, but have not been successful yet.
Well, get her another handbag.
Darn wife.
But it's a nice compromise to still be able to enjoy pinball. It's not as good, but actually putting the buttons, installing the buttons on the side, not so bad. It's a pretty good experience.
So
Well, Al, whatever you do to get that V pin from the wife, give that tip to both Steven and Doug, because they're getting the same problem, pushback. So I have no pushback. I can do whatever I want. But those two guys can use your help.
Okay, well, it sounds like we need to have a conference call with your wife then.
Yeah, we need an intervention. We need it quick, right? No, I think I've gotten to the point where I figured out that if I put the couches in the middle of the room, it's where I can still access my consoles. That frees up the back wall, which is good for another 5 arcades. Hint, hint, Scott, bring some arcades out and some pinball. if you're paying attention, because he was in the chat room earlier. But do you get a lot of people asking about this integration with the pinball? Because I see you got pinball effects running, and that's the number one that everybody likes playing.
Yeah, everyone seems to like pinball effects. I'd say it's about 20%. It's not
Okay.
The bulk of the users are actually Arcade Legends customers right now, thanks to Glenn again and P-Dubs and you guys. It's about 20%. You do need a PC, so that is a bigger project. You can't just hook up a Raspberry Pi, or it doesn't run native off Legends, for example. So you got to hook up a PC. Pinball Effects is really easy to install, so that's a good one to get started with. Visual Pinball is a royal pain in the butt to install.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about making a guide to make it easier, because you can do some pretty nice automation with the tools that I've.
You can probably sell that guide, because I have virtual pin. I swear I want to slip my wrist half the time.
Yeah, it's once you do it once, of course, it sounds easy, but the first time you do it, it's very intimidating.
So while
if anyone's interested there, I can like I said, that's on my to-do list to work on automating that install. It's definitely doable.
So Al, there's a question in the Facebook chat while this is playing and everybody's looking at it. It says from Travis, or excuse me, Trevor. He says, "Are these screens cheaper than the LCD widescreens people are using for marquees that come from China?"
Good question. So I've looked at those. LCD screen depends on the place. So if you go for the bigger sizes for LCDs, like one that would fit an Arcade Legends, I would say that's probably going to be more expensive. Ones that fit like an Arcade 1-Up, you can actually get those on Amazon. I've seen them for about $120, for example. So it really depends on the size, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, he was just asking Glenn or Doug. I don't know if there's any questions filtering in through YouTube. I know you're usually on top of that.
Yeah, so far we just got a lot of people going oohs and ahs. It's really winning them over.
Well, that's why I asked Al earlier. I said, "Hey, any videos that you want to showcase for this?" And these are good videos to really show what it's capable of doing. I mean, we all have videos, but you have to like go to the channels and see them. But this is kind of cool. I like that right there. How you have it right where the speakers are. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's slick. And is that like a secondary one? Like what information is that driving right there? Is that just the game title?
Yeah, those are game titles. That's the year the game was made. And then those little mini OLED screens show some more metadata, like the rating, is it kid friendly?
Wow.
Year made,
awesome.
Manufacturer. Yeah, that was kind of cool project. That's a bit more involved in terms of wiring and hooking things up. Feedback I got on that was a bit kind of over the top. Personally, I like it because I like anything flashy with LEDs. But yeah.
I'm surprised somebody like Bobby Vu didn't do that, because he's into all those like hardcore. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, but those hardcore mods, like, I don't know, like if you did like a Terminator cabinet, that would look pretty awesome having those in the front, or a Back to the Future cabinet would look really good with that stuff. With a flux capacitor.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be real.
Yeah, I have one arcade kind of high-end arcade modder customer that's bought a couple, so we'll see what he comes up with.
Yeah.
And speaking of arcades, you've got it running on a full-size arcade right behind you there.
Yeah. So this was a vintage Street Fighter cabinet.
Oh, Doug's favorite.
That's right. It's like a Super Street Fighter cabinet there.
I think it was actually converted. So the original cabinet was Alien Syndrome.
Yeah.
And it was converted to Street Fighter. I'm not sure which one actually, but yeah.
Excellent.
Now, one thing just to note for everyone out there when they do this, when you do put these in, the power supplies that Al supplies could be mistaken for the one that came with like the Legends. You have to make sure you're using the right power supply. The voltages are different and the amps are different. Just make sure you always use Al's power supply. Don't mix them up. Just a little piece of advice.
And I will tell you this, Al, something happened with my power supply. I was having all kinds of bad luck with that whole thing, right?
Oh.
No, it was weird. Did you ever have any of them rattle?
I've not heard about rattle. I did have a customer the other day that had a bad power supply. So
I had one. Well, fortunately, I had another one. I got 50 million of them laying around, the right thing. But it was the weirdest thing. I plugged it in. I got it all set up. I was shooting that video, right, when I was installing it. And then after I got everything back together, I turned it on. Meanwhile, it was working the whole time, right? I just shut it off so I could have it boot, just so everybody saw it. And it stopped working. And the power supply was rattling. So I thought that was really, really odd that it would do that. But fortunately, like, because you state, and I want to stress this to people, if something happens, you state that it could burn up that chip. And I'm sitting there going, oh boy, I hope I have one that's the right side.
It's basically everything runs off 5 volts. So what Glenn was mentioning is if you use the power supply that comes with the Legends, that's 12 volts.
Yeah, it'll catch on fire.
It's going to fry. I don't think it'll catch on fire, but it's going to fry the board.
That would have been cool if I would, it would have caught on fire for the video.
I mean, yeah, it makes good video. It would have been cool for you, but
no, it wouldn't have.
Good content.
It was just
awful.
when mine arrived, and I stated this in the video, because trying to save you on some shipping here, Al, with that. Unfortunately, you can't control UPS because they just throw packages all over the place, right? I mean, I was showing Al, and I wanted to show the viewers because, listen, if you get something like on mine UPS must have thrown it or something or stepped on it, even though Al has fragile written all over the package like 50 million times.
But he also packaged it very well. It was packaged
He
extremely
did.
well.
And when I opened it up, I mean, Al was like mortified, and I said to him, I'm like, no, it's cool. You could put duct tape on it, because the way it goes into the cabinet, you don't see the duct tape. You don't even see the back of it unless you open up the back of the Legends. You still really don't see it. But that tinted, which I was glad that was in one piece. The tinted Lexan that you give, it basically holds it right in place, and there's no issues. So if you happen to get one, guys, like that, he can't control UPS, just like Arcade 1-Up. Sometimes when they send stuff out, it's busted. There's ways to fix it, and like I said, you could push on it. It's not gonna bow. It's not gonna break. It's pretty awesome that the way he designed it to put that piece on afterwards, because that basically keeps it structurally sound. And Glenn, you're shaking your head, yeah, because it is.
I am, because all three of us, the postman, FedEx, UPS, all hate us.
They hate us.
They come to our house every time. They start throwing.
They're like, darn Al, he sent it to him and not me.
What I love is when it's downpouring rain and you leave it like right in the driveway. Leave it right there in the driveway to get rained on. When my porch is like 2 feet to the left, they put it right in the middle of the rain. I love that. Clavin, you're the best.
Wasn't it somebody that got a Legends like that, but there was oil all over it? Did you guys see that?
Oh,
the box was like sop in oil.
It literally looked like it came out of an oil barrel. I mean, that was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen.
Completely not, at Game's fault at all. That was total the postal deliverer, and that thing looked like it went through 2 ringers, not 1, 2.
But I mean, sometimes things like that happen, and right now, Al, as far as shipping goes, right now, with the pandemic that's going around, correct me, and I'm not familiar with California law, but I've seen some different things. You're not allowed to ship out right now, correct?
No, I can ship.
Oh, you can ship.
So
good.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate because I assemble everything here in my basement.
Okay.
So I don't have a separate place I have to go to. So we're still good. I did buy a lot in advance, so I've got basically enough material. The only constraint right now is the laser cut mount, and so I have some of those coming in Wednesday, actually. So as of Wednesday, I should have another 17 in stock, and we're shipping.
Okay.
So,
I thought I read somewhere where stuff in California wasn't able to ship out. That's why I wanted to verify that.
It might be from a large business,
Okay.
but he's shipping it's personal shipping.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's and Scott Backrack says, Al, very nice work, super cool. From Arcade 1-Up, and then he also said to Glenn, thanks for your service on the front lines. Glenn's not servicing on the front lines. Glenn's just pretending to service on the front lines. He's the ones over there going to these people on respirators and pulling the plug so that they can move the respirators. That's really what's happening, because he thinks it's Kathleen Kennedy that he's going over there doing it.
If Kathleen Kennedy comes to my place, oh yeah, she's getting unplugged.
See, I told you.
Oh yeah.
Don't
totally am.
Don't give him. Scott, don't feed his ego. Come on.
He's got a plastic bag her like before she even gets in the entryway.
No, I'm not making light of it, but no, seriously.
No, it's not. But thank you. And to be honest, my guys are in. If there I think if you're watching the show, and my guys are out there a lot more than I am. They've been going on the COVID floors to repair hand scanners needed for medicine or to fix the respirators. So if anything, my guys really need kudos as well. And again, all the docs and nurses out there, there's also room cleaning people. They're out there just the same. Maintenance staff, they're going in these rooms as well. They shouldn't be forgotten, and they're doing just as much as the doctors and nurses. But everyone out there, it's appreciated. I know right now people are getting really antsy. I know California, they had a thing today where people just, going to the restaurants anyway. I think we're at a pivoting point where I think it's getting a little bit better, but I would still say be cautious, because this stuff is still extremely serious. At my hospital, someone 25 years old, healthy, didn't make it out. So it's not just old people that are getting it. Just be careful.
They must have been a Star Wars 4, 5, or no 1, 2, and 3 fan. For
7,
you.
8, 9. No, 7.
Oh,
7,
that's
8,
right.
9.
You don't like 7, 8, 9.
7,
All
8.
right.
No. Well, to be quite honest, there is no 7, 8, 9. I'm waiting for Lucas to still make it because it ends at 6. 6 was the last one.
So that's what he's
made.
not telling you.
Yeah.
No, but Doug and I have been privileged. We've seen a few pictures that Glenn had that he set up at the hospitals, and his team did. It's pretty impressive what they did. So yeah, there's definitely kudos to go there.
So people, everyone out there does a hard day's work. So don't think that it's just to them. But right now, with everything going on, people stepping up, and it's all about protecting other people. That's the beautiful thing about it.
And
it's about protecting other people, so you can go buy yourself a nice new Pixelcade for your Legends Ultimate.
And Glenn, Scott Backrack says, Glenn, please get me a list of your guys, and we will get them some machines to their home.
Ooh, that's very generous.
Very generous.
That's extremely generous, Scott. Thank you. I'll get you a list.
That's
I
pretty
think
awesome.
they all live at my house, by the way. But,
No, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Glenn will disperse them, of course.
But I know normally, guys, what we do is with this show, we do like a huge post show. Probably today we're not going to do that because it's not a normal Friday, and guys are just getting home from work or But what I want to do is I do want to open up. If you want to call in and ask some questions, we'll do this live. So those of you guys that are funny and you want to do the soundboards, let's hold off on them tonight. I know some of you guys have messaged me and said, "Hey, I was one of the guys that did soundboard." We think it's funny on Friday night. It's cool. But please, if you've got some questions for Al, particularly about his Pixelcade, please feel free to call in and ask a question, for Al about the Pixelcade. Now, he did say with the discount code that we have, it's good for 20 uses, right? So once that 20 is gone, you're back to full price. Get it while it's good. So he was very generous to give that out to the viewers here. So we definitely want to honor that. So if you didn't get in the first 20, well, you'll have to wait around. There's some other codes floating around.
To be honest, it'll be one of those things you won't be disappointed in. It's one of those things you're going to buy and you're really going to like it. That's the beauty of it. You will not be disappointed. Not like me on a date.
Yeah, that's what. So, and when everybody else goes out on a Saturday night for a date, this is what Glenn does right there. You can see it.
I look at beautiful.
When this virus and everything's all said and done, and Doug and I, we go out to the movies and take our wives out and our families out, this will be Glenn.
Yep, that's it. That's what you always see me do. You always see me doing this. Always doing the kissing. My girlfriends, my dates.
Al, there's nothing wrong with that. You're in good company.
You created a monster.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that. So if people wanted to get a hold of some of those other devices, Al, that you have there, like you showed on the control panel, the elaborate, I guess the modifications that you have down by your sound bar, can they order them from your website?
For those, I would just message me directly. My email's al@ledpixelart.com. That one's not really productized yet.
Okay.
If you really want to go for that, I'm more than happy to help you. Basically, I'll just have to make a custom cable to make it a little easier to wire it up for you. So just reach out to me if you've got a project that you think that would be a good fit for.
Okay. So we're taking a chance here, but we do have somebody calling in. Caller, you're on the air. Do you have a question for Al?
Hi, I'm Quagmire.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
So you always have those. Yeah, you always have those ones. So even if you do ask, but that's all right. That was for you, Glenn.
It's always appreciated. Quagmire's my buddy.
Okay.
So Al, what's it been like to kind of do this labor of love that, like you said, you didn't really intend it to be something, you just kind of did it as a one-off, but now it's, you're seeing how much people like it. How's that experience been for you?
I've honestly really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed interacting and meeting all the new people. It has, I'm not going to lie, it's been pretty busy. I have a full-time job. I've got a wife and kids. So definitely it's nights and weekends just packing up stuff and answering questions. But I can't complain. It's been great, and I've really enjoyed all the feedback.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is the time getting near that potentially this could turn into a full-time business? Or are you already starting to think down the road, 6, 9 months, a year, that you could possibly go full-time doing this?
I think if I entertain that, my wife would divorce me. Really? No. No, not yet. I mean, if it really blew up, I would farm it out. Because right now, literally, I'm the one that puts everything together.
Oh, true.
If you order it assembled, it's me. I'm the one assembling it, and it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to put each one together. So if it really, scaled up, it would just be a matter of outsourcing that.
Just tell her, if you went full-time and you sold a lot of them, that's more handbags she can buy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she buys the handbag already. That
Yeah.
doesn't
She's not asking for permission on those.
exactly.
I'm going to take it a step further, not so much being a full-time job, but do you see anything you can do to, not so much improve it, but you have other ideas of how you can use your Pixelcade versus in the Legends or the Arcade 1-Up or, people's home machines? Are you thinking outside of anything else, or is this really going to be focusing on just these home arcade machines?
Well, the pinball is definitely something, right? That's a big market. So that's something to think about. And I want to add more artwork. So I'll just kind of mention this. I'm collaborating with a guy based out of France, and he has done a lot of really good pixel artwork for it. So he's got about 5,000 animations that he's put together. And so we're going to work together on an art pack. And I think he wants something like $20 or something like that is what he's going to ask for. But the idea would be, in these ones here, these animations you see here were a sample that he donated to the project just to kind of whet people's appetites. But that's something that we're working on right now. So maybe a month or so. There's a lot of work to get all that artwork ready. So that's one. Glenn, you've been very supportive of trying to get At Games on board. They're busy. They've got a lot of other priorities, which I totally understand. But at some point, if we get them on board, it would be nice to be able to do the integration without having to add a PC or a Raspberry Pi. I get a lot of feedback from customers that they're not really that technical, right? They just want it to work.
Mm-hmm.
So very much love to get that working at some point. Raspberry Pi 4, that was a big one that we just got done. A lot of asks for Raspberry Pi 4, so that's done. That's available now. Yeah, those are some of the current projects.
Glenn, I gotta. We have like a giveaway here that we're gonna be doing here, and we were kind of talking off channel about this, and Glenn, I had an idea.
Dangerous.
No, because Glenn is like the human dictionary when it comes to, or encyclopedia when it comes to arcade games, and he's always going on these rants about Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy. So what I thought was, if you're up to it, Glenn, we'll give you a few minutes to think about a trivia question from one of the Star Wars episodes that you like, that somebody could answer that. They have to call in with their answer. The first one to call in with the correct answer
there we go.
will win, what is it, a Tron joystick.
They can win their choice of an Arcade 1-Up Tron joystick or Legends Ultimate Tron joystick. That'll be the prize.
Okay, so if you can do that, Glenn's gonna give you the trivia question here in just a second, because I was gonna say is the question: who does Glenn hate the most when it comes to Star Wars? That's what I was honestly gonna do, but then I thought, it'll be too, my board will light up here with everybody calling, because
that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah. So I thought, let's make it a little bit of a challenge, and let's do that. So if you have a question that you think you can stump somebody with one of the original 3 episodes,
the good ones,
the 4, 5, and 6. Let's see what
the original trilogy.
If you think you can stump somebody with that, we'll put it out there so that they have a chance to win. But you have to call in. That's how you're going to win. You have to call in, just like it was a radio show. You'd have to call in. Hello, you're the first caller. Whoever the first caller is with it right will win. Right? Fair enough. Easy. You don't have to be the 5th caller. Be the
right. Just
be the first
right
caller.
answer.
Let's see if we can do that. And I was even going to say, I thought, well, we could do it where you could do like the 15th caller, but then we might be here all night.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to do that.
First caller wins.
First caller. And Oh, look at him. He's Googling. You're not allowed to do that.
I want
He's
to make sure.
verifying. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure. Right. I wanted to make sure I had the right answer.
We're supposed to stump the audience, not stump Glenn.
No, it's not stumped. I want to verify. If I'm gonna have a contest, I want to make sure that I'm quoting it right. So I'm ready whenever anyone else.
Well,
is.
wait,
If you want to do it now,
we
later,
have
you do it.
we have a legitimate caller calling in, and caller, you're on the air. What's your question?
What's up, guys? It's Angel.
Hey, what's going on, Angel?
Hey.
What's going on? Al, you got me sold. I'm about to give you my bank account and my routing number. I just got one quick question, and I'm sorry if it's already been answered, but it took me like 4 minutes to get through. So, my question is, does it circulate with the games that At Games has already on the list, or does it do it just random, whatever random stuff you put in?
So it can do either. I had one customer that wanted to do an animation like the one Glenn has is circling through just a big one I put together, I think around 300 or 400 marquees. But I did put one together of just At Games, what's on there. And so it's just a matter of downloading that to the micro SD card.
My last question, is it only Android based, or do you have an OS coming out?
So if you want to do the Bluetooth integration that Glenn had, that is only Android right now.
Right.
If you
Only one worth it.
Yeah, if you want to do iPhone or any web browser, if you add a Raspberry Pi or like a Pi Zero $10 device here, you can control it from any browser on your network, including an iPhone.
All right, cool. No problem. I'll be placing that order.
Okay, great questions. Thank you.
Awesome, Angel. Thanks
you
for
so much.
calling in, man. Appreciate it. All right, Glenn. Before we get another caller, if they have any questions, or before we get into what is the question for the audience?
Okay, the question is, Han Solo made the Kessel run in what?
In what time frame? Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I have to think about that myself.
Simple question. And it wasn't in actually it was in a Solo movie, but we're not gonna write that one off.
All right, we got a caller here. Hang on.
Seriously?
Oh, whoop.
It was good.
Wait, we have another caller. Caller, you're on the air. If you mute the background, what's your answer, caller? We got
12 parsecs.
12.
That is correct, sir.
Who's the caller?
Nailed
Caller,
it.
what's your name?
It's actually Wolfenose, guys.
Oh, Wolfenose. What's going on, man?
Not much. What's up?
Hey, not a whole lot. Make sure you get Glenn your address so he can get that out to you. Dang, you're quick.
Yeah, I'll hit him up later.
You got any
trick where you just hold the last button.
Yeah, congratulations. You got any
Hold your finger on the last button.
You got any questions for Al?
Actually,
so did
while
he?
you're there, so Wolfenose, I've been testing with your images and they work great. So thanks for all the work there.
I'm happy they do. I've been trying to get Angel too. Angel just called in and he was worried about the loading of the marquees with the games. That was his concern, I guess. But
yeah, I still need to test your Pi 4 image, the 256 gigabyte one. I haven't been able to download that one yet, but as soon as I get my hands on it.
Does Launchbox work with that? Have you tried Launchbox with that as well?
Launchbox is good.
Okay, cool.
Launchbox on the PC.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
No one likes Macs.
Hey, listen. Listen. Once you go Mac, you don't go back. That's the way it works.
Of course, because you go down like a black hole and you can't get out. You're trapped.
I do all my dev on Mac.
Ah!
Smart man, smart man.
That's because it's Unix based. It's the closest thing to Linux.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Everything's Unix
Hey,
based.
thanks,
Windows
guys.
is going that way.
So, Wolfenose, I got a question for you.
Sure.
So, with Glenn having to look that answer up before he asks the question, does that disappoint you in any way or shape or form?
No,
I'm
because
asking
he's
for
an
a
Atari
friend, that's
person,
all.
and he's an Atari person, number one. Number two, I don't like Kathleen Kennedy either. She's running. Yeah.
When you have one person single-handedly destroy an entire universe. I mean, come on.
No, I'm
Think
with
of
Glenn
this,
on that.
Look at it this way. When before episodes 7, 8, and 9 came out, Star Wars toys. I mean, Doug got to be into this too. He's got to be. Star Wars toys sold like hotcakes. 7, 8, 9 comes out, they're in a landfill. Nobody
Oh, here
wants
we
them.
go.
Nobody wants them. Nobody.
Right. Like I go to Target on my lunch break back when the movies were big, and like you'd see like none of them gone. Like all the toys are still sitting there, like the lightsabers, the figures, everything.
That's
You
'cause-
didn't see them going off the shelves.
That's because Doug didn't get there yet.
Exactly.
Doug didn't want to go. Doug didn't want to go.
Well,
But
No,
seriously,
I mean,
seriously,
a lot of
they
it has
lost
to do
a
with the
lot of
fact that
money.
a lot of the new characters just aren't, as
What, Doug?
memorable.
What, Doug?
Like,
They suck.
obviously, people are not going to be super excited to own a Rose Tico action figure when they can own a Han Solo action figure. I mean, that's not an even comparison.
But
I mean,
Doug, you
I
don't
gotta be
understand.
partial because
We're
my daughter
fighting
loves
over
Rey.
love. Star Wars is all about love, and you got to win for
Yeah,
love.
I gotta be partial because my daughter loves Rey. So I mean, but I'm
Yeah,
not a fan of
Rey
the.
was the best character. Kylo Ren was also
Right.
a good character. I mean, there's good things
Ray's
about the
the
trilogy.
best everything ever because she's Rey, and she like does everything perfectly because she's Rey.
Wolfinos, we're going to let you go. We got another caller on hold here, but any parting words that you
Thanks,
got
guys.
before you get him all riled up?
No, respect to all you guys, man. I never miss a show.
Hey, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you calling in. Caller, you're on the air. What do you got?
Hey, it's P-Dubs.
Hey, P-Dubs.
How you guys doing?
Happy birthday, P-Dubs. Belated.
Yeah, happy birthday to you, Glenn, as well.
So you got a
Hey, I got a
Call
quick
rings
question.
alike.
you got a question for Al?
Yeah, I got a question for Al.
Gonna
Okay.
ask
You
it?
there?
Yeah, we're
Okay. sorry.
we're waiting.
There is a bit of an echo on the phone. Sorry. So, hey, Al, as you know me, and I love having the Pixelcade on my Legends, and I have one for the Arcade 1-Up. Here's my question. Are you going to come out with one that'll fit on the Rec Room Masters cabinets? I got a Rec Room Masters cabinet on the way, and that would be pretty cool.
Ooh, that's a good question.
So the answer is yes. I have 2 customers on that right now. So is it the 32-inch model, Patrick?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah, I have a mount for that. I have 2 guys using that right now. So yeah, just reach out. I'll hook
Sweet.
you up with that.
So
Right.
going
Looking forward
along
to
with
it.
that, have you looked at the IA Arcade news that's been going around? They've been doing that. Are you thinking about possibly making a marquee for the II Arcade?
I saw that one. Because right now I
Where
think
would
we
you
just have
put
like
it?
a blank board, right? There's not really
Yeah. There's no light, blank board, giant speakers.
We'd have to kind of maybe put it
That's right,
underneath
yeah.
it or something. I don't know, or make a bracket that would maybe sit on top the way the mark. Because I don't know why they put the speakers up there, but neither here. Oh, it's the
Because you have-
experience.
It's the experience.
The experience. I forgot about that. Sorry, but somewhere on that cabinet, Al. Somewhere on the cabinet.
It's possible. Just need someone that wants to work with me, and we'll figure out how to design it. It's a matter of designing a mount.
Sweet. Any other questions, Mr. P-Dubs?
Nope. That's all I had for you. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you calling. Hey, did you
Stickers.
wait? Did you
Yeah.
get rid
I
of
didn't
those
get my
stickers?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
You didn't get rid of your stickers yet, did you?
I actually put 22 on Retro Ralph's car, and I added
Makes it
25
faster.
subscribers.
But none of us got any in the mail yet. We're still waiting.
Oh, it's something with COVID.
Right.
Post
Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, they're on a boat. Sitting on the
Just
harbor
send them
by California.
all. Just send them all in a box to Kathleen Kennedy. Just put them in a
No,
box.
so what he's saying
ship 'em
is
out.
he gave him the
A ticking
Detroit
box.
Love to ship out because Detroit Love's in Michigan. They ain't going out anytime soon. Is that essentially what you're saying?
I'm essentially saying that you'll probably get your Burger Time cabinet before you get your P-Dub sticker.
Oh.
Wait. Can I go one further? Will I get my P-Dub stickers before I get my Arcade Graphics
Don't-
stickers?
Oh, probably.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough for me then. Okay.
Oh.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, Mr. P Dubs. Any other questions you guys got before we wrap up here in about 5 minutes? Give us a call. You got the number there on the screen. Al, there's a lot of systems that are coming to market here, so it's cool that you're open to at least hey, if they're willing to work with you, you'd love to get your marquee on it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I basically just need the dimensions, and I've probably so if you go to my website, type pixelcade.org/gallery, you can see all the custom installs that we've done. So we've probably done maybe 10 or so custom cabinets, or other cabinets other than at games and AOU.
So I'll pull that up here right now so they can all check this out here. Wow, I like this 4-player. Is it 4-player? Yeah, it's 4-player.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of these are, off the shelf cabinets. Some of these are completely custom built.
This one's insane. I'm clicking on this one here.
That one's a little, yeah. The guy just sent that to me
Okay.
yesterday.
This is insane.
So I
That's
think
awesome.
what you're seeing there is it's doubling as his normal workstation plus an arcade machine.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And what also he did, which is interesting, so if you play the video, the marquee I had didn't actually fill up the whole space. So he wanted to fill up the whole space. So he got two other marquees, two other separate panels on the left and the right. So those are separately controlled actually from an iOS app, because those are 32 by 32 resolution. I have an app for that. So those are separately controlled from the Pixelcade marquee in the middle. So yeah, he went all out on that.
So wait a second. He's got like little eyeballs down there on the control deck that are blinking and winking at me, and the buttons are lighting up in like a weird succession there.
Yes.
Is that all your masterpieces there?
No, I'm just the marquee. So all that other stuff, that's his own creation.
This is.
He might be using LED Blinky for the button control. I'm not sure. I can check with him.
That's kind of insane, Al.
Yeah, that's impressive though. I mean, that just shows you the creative lengths people will take these type of things to.
Yeah, exactly. Sky's the limit.
Yep, it's better to have options.
Oh,
than
here
not.
we go.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay. So Al, I'm gonna also pull up here as we get rolling toward the end here. We've got the pixelcade.org, which we, like Glenn said, we got some videos out there. You guys can check it out. Al, you can go to his website, check it out. Here's a list of all the sample artwork that you're seeing here, and some of the Al, I have to say your guides are pretty cool. That's one of the things that I've gone through, obviously to set mine up and then do the videos on, I'm sure, as well as other people. You can go here and click buy the kit. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you got everything here, your API calls and everything like that you need. And
yeah, if there's any developers out there, the API is pretty mature at this point, so you can do a lot of cool custom stuff. Had a guy that wanted to, for example, display a certain message on certain holidays, for example. That's not possible through the power of programming with the API. Yep. And there's also, if you click on the how-to section, I get a lot of questions on how to do your own artwork, because obviously people want to customize it and make their own artwork. And so there's a few tips that you got to do to make it look good on the LEDs. So that's all on there as well.
Yeah, you got a lot of links here on this how-to spot here. Cabinet marquee installations, artwork, wiring diagrams as well.
Yeah.
So for those that are buying it, maybe not assembled, right, that they could follow along and put it together.
That's right. That's right.
That's pretty sweet. So
we got a question in the YouTube from Eric. It says, Al, is it possible to power on the Pixel and the at games together?
Power the Pixel. Yeah, so that integration, in terms of power. So
Power strip.
Well, that's
so Glenn, how did you do that actually on yours?
Well, that's
you still use my power strip.
What I did was in the back of mine, I took the back panel off. I have a power strip that I put everything inside behind the unit, and one cord comes out. So
yep.
When it turns on, they'll turn on together.
That's
That's the best way.
That's the best way to do it because I use it with Google Home as well. I have it plugged into a power strip that Google Home controls, so when it goes on, everything comes on. When it goes off, I do that with arcade 1-ups too with the lighted marquees because the way some companies set those up as well, unless you're Angel sending a remote, they're stuck on all the time, and most people don't want them on all the time.
So the one other option you could do is you train your kid with a
Oh,
cookie.
that's a good one.
You get the cookie. If they both go on at the same time, they go boop, and then you get them the cookie. That's just
Give them
another
that
way.
little whistle, and there you go.
Well, we'll stick around, guys. We'll have like a 5 or 10 minute post show. We're not going to do the 2-3 hour marathons that we've done on Friday nights. We'll save that for Friday nights. But any additional questions that you guys have. But what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up the recording. We want to thank Mr. Al Link for taking the time from pixelcade.org. You guys can go visit that and check him out. He also has a Facebook page. Go give it a like. I think, Al, we saw that you had like 72 likes. Maybe people don't know about it. Go over there, give it a like. Pixelcade. I linked it in the video with us being live as well as the advertisements that we put out there. So go like it. And, you guys can find out more about this in the future. But thanks so much, Al, for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We want to thank Mr. Doug Smith for taking out his Monday and joining us here, Mr. Cool Toy.
Star Wars Day. Gotta love it.
And also Mr. Glenn Planamento. This is Kathleen Kennedy's #1
Come on, Kennedy.
fan.
Come on.
Make sure you guys check us out. We'll be here again Friday. Who do we have? Richie, don't we, this Friday?
Yes. Richie's this Friday. Richie Knuckles is back on, yes.
So he's planned to bring us a whole mess of cool stories that we didn't get, the last couple weeks or the last time he was on, because we got into a whole mess of other stuff. So
right. He had to check with his lawyers first to make sure he wouldn't get sued for him, but
Yes. So make sure you tune in this Friday. We're back on Friday, this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the Retro Buzz. It'll be really, really cool. So we'll see you guys. And for those that are going to stick around a little bit, we'll do some Q&A. You guys can call in 5 or 10 minutes. But the rest of you guys, we'll see you Friday for more of the Retro Buzz.